Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Well, what are the chances that Prince Andrew has another friend with particular predilections, a private plane, and a private island? Meet meet Peter Nygard. Now Peter Nygard became a fashion mogul. He was based here in Canada. His base was actually in Winnipeg, central of the country, although he spent most of his time on Nygard Cay. His private island in the Bahamas. Now, over 52 years, Peter Nygard built an international fashion business. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. I knew people that had relatives in Malta, and they shopped there for his clothes. He was very well known as far as that goes. It wasn't super duper high fashion, but pretty well made clothes. I think most of them were made in Indonesia. But anyway, he's this huge business mogul, private plane, private island. But the similarities to Epstein don't stop there. Um, right now, Peter Nygard's in jail in the States, awaiting a trial on a case involving several women, and his two sons are actually, they're adults now. They're actually jumped in and joined forces with this woman, and they've got charges of their own against him. So it's not good. And the same kind of essay, forcible confinement, those kinds of really awful things. He originally was arrested here in Winnipeg, in Canada, and incarcerated, awaiting bail. He never did get the bail, but during that time, um, the United States petitioned for extradition so they could bring him into court in the States, and that's the status now. He's facing all these charges in both countries, and his crimes go back to the 1980s. In fact, in 1980, charges of RAPE were first brought against him by an 18-year-old girl. The case was subsequently thrown out of court because she, I think, under pressure, decided she just couldn't go through court. So the case was thrown out. It wasn't a win for him, but it was a walk for him. And then in the 90s, he faced charges and an investigation again. I think it was 3 women in Canada that had been employees of him brought charges of SA against him. Now, that ended up being settled financially out of court. Peter Nygard paid them off, and it was swept under the rugs. But, even since then, there's been a lot of talk and sort of dark rumors about him all the way along. Now, there's this huge lawsuit against him in 2 countries. The guy is buggered. It's just too much this time. But meanwhile, so where does Prince Andrew fit into all of this? Well, shortly after the court case with the 3 women was settled financially, Prince Andrew thought it was okay to go visit him at Nygard Cay. Not only did he think it was okay to go visit a man who had financially paid off the women that were bringing these charges against him. Andrew thought it was okay not only to go visit him himself, but he brought Sarah and the kids along. And this guy is not, Nygaard is not a nice guy, but Andrew thought it was, appropriate to bring them all along. Now, when Andrew came out in his interview on the BBC and said, well, Epstein, yeah, when he got out and the charges against him and he got out of prison, I thought, well, gee, I can't have anything to do with him anymore, so I better fly over there and I'm so noble, I'll tell him in person. On one hand, you can almost give Andrew a pass for being naive, not too smart. He could, in some eyes, maybe get away with that once. But twice after Nygaard settles out of court in an SA situation, and Andrew thinks it's okay to bring, at this time, I think he and Sarah were divorced for a few years, Sarah and the young girls. That's okay. It just seems really odd to me. You'd think, oh yeah, you have one bad friend that you didn't know about, and you were naive, and it's just an awful situation. But two, in the same time frame, in the same frame of years, he's hopping from, you know, Epstein's Island to Nygaard's Island. In an interview a few years ago, Peter Nygaard described Prince Andrew as, quote, a good friend. Well, if you have friends like that, my God, that's something else. And an ironic thing going on right now, it's not going to be too good for Andrew, perhaps. The same prosecutors that were after him to testify in the whole Dufresne case are the same prosecutors that are handling things against Nygaard in New York right now. Wouldn't that be something if Andrew's name pops up there as well? Don't want to be in his shoes. Have a good day, everybody. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.